Well, good morning. Happy the very next day of 4th of July. Let me just tell you, lightning, heavy rain, and fireworks don't work for cats. What happens? Audrey stays up till 3 o'clock in the morning consulting cats. My life. Okay, but any of that. Well, welcome over here. My name is Audrey Codner. I'm the owner of ACG Math Tutoring. I have been a classroom teacher for 22 years, and I've just, I want to say, completed my 6th year of online math tutoring for students all over the United States, as well as Nairobi, Kenya, and Cairo, Egypt. So what I do here is basically to help you, yes, you, stop looking around, you, help you trying to break down what you have, which is called your math phobia. For years, you probably always thought you were always bad at math. In actuality, you just need someone to take a time, step by step, and show you how and why you're actually doing certain things in order to solve. So you can raise your score in the GED, the ASVAT, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, anything that has to deal with algebra. So what I like to do is also to show you that some of the reasons why I put all these things down, and if you ever want extra practice, you can actually click the link in my profile and you can buy my latest books, which is Algebra at Your Pace. And what it does, it breaks down the concepts step by step and it gives you sections. So like if you need some help with the factoring disabilities like we did yesterday, you can actually watch that video, take down some notes, then we're going to work on some practice problems so you can write down the practice problems, and I give you extra practice problems to work with. And in each book, you'll actually have like a quiz that summarizes all the stuff that's in each of the books. So we'll talk about those and we'll talk about the references. But let's talk about one thing that you really have a problem with. And I don't know, it's not so much fractions, but it's very close to it. It's word problems. Every time you see a word problem, I can't do a word problem. Well, if you're taking the ASVAT, that's half the test is nothing but word problems, especially the academic understanding. Hey Mel, how are you? Okay, so as we're breaking a lot of these concepts down to put it in a way that you understand it. Now, there are so many different ways of solving the same problem. I know there's going to be people in here like, you should use point slope system, or you should do this, and if you just do the derivative and all that stuff, that's great. But I'm talking about people who are right here on the verge of losing it every time they just see a word problem, or they just see math, because it is that thing called trauma. When you were a little kid and you were learning the concepts, you were fine with adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Dividing, but we made it through, right? And then all of a sudden, this thing called algebra popped up. There's numbers, there's letters, and you're like, what, are we doing English? What's this? But you didn't have someone that says, what happens when you don't know? They should be using boxes to place. Like say if I said 5 plus box equals 9. What should we put inside that box? And some places still do that, which is awesome, especially for our ones that are learning in the pre-algebra. But a lot of schools don't. How I know? I'm tutoring a lot of those people. So this is why I do all these things step by step. Hey Big G Money, how you doing? Yeah, I'm going to try for the early ones, especially it gets mad hot in here. Like today, I'm so glad. It feels so much better than the last couple days. I felt like I wanted to rip my tits off. Maybe I shouldn't have said that out loud, but here we are. That's how I felt. All right, so let's take a look at some situations that we're going to learn to basically break down a word problem so we can set up maybe an equation and then solve for what they want us to solve for in that word problem. All right, so let's take again that. Or maybe not. Here we go. Yeah, it was real hot, Mel. It was like ridiculous. I think I went out early yesterday morning and I was like, why? Why is it this humid? So I did not understand. All right. So, just by looking at this, good morning, Keisha. How are you? Hey, Big Al, how you doing? Just by looking at this, not even reading it yet. Okay, remember, you don't need to read the whole word problem. But just by looking at this, how are you feeling? Okay, how are you feeling just by looking at it? Let's see if I can move this around. Since I don't have a ring light either, we'll talk about that later. Okay, Mel, stressed. You're already stressed looking at that. There it is, Mel. Okay, thank you. All right. Okay, you're good on this one. Okay, awesome. All right, lady, I see that. Okay, worried. All right, Keisha. It's like, why in particular worried? Is it worried that you would never solve it? Or are you worried that you never understand it? Or you're just worried that where you would start is not really where you should start? I know, so crazy. Okay, so you're saying multiplication and division. Okay, you're saying divide that 650 by 5. Okay, all right. Never understand it. Okay, well, you will. Okay, I'm here. I'm not saying I'm like the creme de la creme of everything, but at least we're going to break it down to a point that we'll understand it. Okay? All right? All right, so I see you, Ashley. Thank you so much for coming on in. I see you, Big G Money. All right, Zombie, hey, thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Okay. Is it Vibes? I see you. Okay, Mike, I see you. Okay, Mel, okay. Only God, I see you. How are you? You have it next month? Okay. So here's my thing. We're going to break it down. Okay? I'm here to break it on down for you. Alright? So, let's take a look. First place we want to go is the question. Everybody's like, what? I'm like, yeah. Because in order for you, think about it. If you're a detective, something has to happen. Some kind of crime has to be committed. In order for you to know where to look or what are your possible suspects and doing all that, there has to have a crime that happens. So for us with math problems, we need to take a look at the question. So they want to know how much is each monthly installment. Okay? So that means what's going to carry my unknown is going to be the monthly installment. And if you guys, since it's monthly, and if you want to say, all right, my M is going to represent my monthly. Okay? So this helped us to define what is our unknown variable. Okay? All right. So now, let's take a look at some of the clues that are being represented in our word problem. So we want to know Jordan wants to buy a new tablet that costs $650. All right, so we got a tablet and it's brand new, and that's how much it costs. All right, so that means no matter what we're doing, it's going to equal that $650. Are we good so far? I know there's a lot of people that are like, oh, the answer is this, the answer is this, the answer is this, the answer is this. But I'm really trying to talk to those people that are like, I need it slow. Okay? Alright, so Big Al, you're with me. Good. Okay, Cherry, I see you. Mel, I did see you. Harry, I did see you as well. Okay? So, now the next line. Store gives him, I see 120. So it gives him a discount. So it's not a percentage, it's the full discount. Okay, so you get a discount for trading the old device. Okay, great. But then, what's happening to pay off what remains, he's thinking about it, putting it in 5 equal monthly installments. So if it's going to be 5 monthly installments, and we said that M is going to represent that monthly installment. So that means my M is going to be associated with 5M, because we're breaking them up into monthly installments. All right? But what happened to that discount of 120? So basically, what we're looking at, what are we going to do with that 120? That's the question. Hey, Brenda, how are you? All right, that's the question. What's going on with that discount? Okay, Big Al saying minus the 120. We're going to subtract. Sean, I see you. Mel, I see you. This is good. Okay? Because if they're taking a discount, they're subtracting it from what? Are they subtracting it from the 5 monthly installments? Or they're subtracting it from the cost? Okay, Big Al is telling me the cost. Big G Money. Okay. Is it Yorgos? Is saying subtracting from the 650. Okay. So Sean is saying from the 5M. Hey, California Living, how are you? I see you. Mike, I see you. All right. So Mel, I got you. All right. So since we're taking a discount of the 120, it's not going to be minus 120 here, because that 120 is going to be a part of the total of what's happening with our 650. So if I were to set up the equation, it's going to be plus 120. But we know that when you take a discount, you're going to be subtracting from your total. Are we okay? Okay. So you add for the equation, because this is a part of the total. Because the monthly installments plus that discount is going to have some effect on the cost of the new tablet. So we're going to discount that 120 on both sides. So now we have our 5M, because we don't need the 0 that we got from the 120 minus the negative 120. And now 650 minus 120, that gives me 530. All right. And then from here, what are we going to do next? What are we doing next? So we got our equation. Now we're working on solving. Yes, Big Al, good. Sean, yeah, or Sean, yes. Laney, yes. California Living, yes. Mel, yes. Okay? So 5M means 5 times M. And the inverse, or the opposite of multiplication, is division. Okay? So now we have M, because 5 divided by 5 gives me 1M, and 1M and M means the same thing. Okay? So now let's divide 530 and 5, so that gives me 1. 5 can go into 3? Nope. But 5 can go into 30 6 times. So now we have M is equal to 106. What does that mean? Nice job, guys. What does that mean? Hey, Miss Blackness, how are you? Welcome back. Thank you, Amanda. Welcome back. Okay, what does that mean? 106 what? Okay, Ebony, yes, 106 a month. The monthly payments. Thank you, Old Teletech. Okay, California a month. Big Al, 5 payments of 106. The dollars, that's the dollars for how much? The $106 will be the installment payments. Yes. Okay, excellent job, guys. Excellent. Okay, even when you got this early on, and I'm going to be a little, because I know Mel a little bit, so I'm going to call you out. Because Mel, initially you've been like, nope, not doing it. Girl, I'll wait for you. But look at what you did. That's huge. Okay? For you guys that were like, I think I get it, and I did it a different way, or you used what you know to apply it to a real world situation. That's what you're supposed to do with word problems. Okay? Sure. Alright. So you take a little quick snap. Yep, see? You were scared at first. And that's huge. And that's not just you. Okay? It's not just you. So this is how we get our monthly installments. So for 5 months, that's how much whoever the person was. Jordan. See? Didn't even matter. The name of the person of this word problem didn't even matter. Okay? But it's not. We're learning to translate. Think of it as a detective. Okay? So you figured out what was the crime that was committed. The crime was committed. Now what is the information that they're giving me? Alright, they gave us the cost of a new tablet. Alright, there was a discount of 120. Alright, and they wanted to put the remaining amount, that remaining balance, in 5 equal installments. So if you want, if you don't have to do it algebraically, you could have just taken the 650 minus the 120 and then do what? Divide by 5. Because anytime you're putting things into equal anything, all you're doing is dividing. Okay? So if they tell you to set it up, we got to do it this way. That's why I do both things. I have you guys work on setup, and then we work on solving. Alright? And that's exactly what you did. Good. Alright, so easing the fear is what I like to say. Easing the fear. So let's try one more, and then I'm going to challenge, because that's what I do. You're like, oh, Audrey, don't be evil. Yeah, I got to. Alright. Let's try this one, and then I'll challenge with that one. Let me lower this down a little bit. Okay. Now. Alright. Okay. Alright. So B10987, please clean up your language. This is just a place of learning. Okay? Alright? It may be easy for you, but it's not necessarily have to be easy for everyone. Okay? You didn't have to stay. Alright? But I do appreciate if you're going to stay, make sure you act appropriately. Chris Brown and Usher? Oh, good Lord. It's like, Usher took your girl. Well, Usher needs to sit down somewhere. And Chris Brown. Getting too old for all this shenanigans. Oh, okay, Miss Blacks. I see you. Good job. Congratulations. Okay. That's all right. You're 36. Well, I'm 53, so we're good. All right. I know. All right, Drew, I see you. Thanks for the follow, Laura. Okay, Andrew, I see you. It helped. Good. That's all I need. That's all I want out of life. I can die peacefully now. That's all I ever want to do. It's just, I want to get my stuff out there. I want people to feel that, oh, I don't know why they're trying to make math more complicated now. They're thinking they're making it easier, and I'm like, no, you're making it more complicated. Stupid. Sorry. Hence, that's why I left. Okay, so brother, I see you. Terry, I see you. Lovely name. Okay. Okay, B-I. or BL. It looks like an L. I see you. Mel, I see you. DJ, I see you. Norman, I see you. Okay. Sidhu, I think I see you. Jordy, I see you. Shanda, I see you. Okay. Alright. Very hard, but the test was not easy. It was all God. Yes. Yes, it is. But you put in the work, and that's why he can help you. He can't help you when you're standing still. You got to keep going. Hey, Nana. How are you? All right. What test is this for? It's for anyone that's going after their GED or high school equivalency test. The ASVAT, the Accuplacer, the TEAS test, the HESI test, and a little bit of GRE. Okay? Because I noticed there's some people that are going for GREs. Alright, so now, let's take a look at it. Let's go, detectives. Let's do this. Alright, first place I go to is the question. And what's the question? What was the base price of a single ticket? Alright, so I'm looking at, there's only basically one type of tickets, because they're not saying seats in the stands or seats in the gardens. They're not splitting anything up. So now, what they say, if they buy 6 tickets online, okay, they paid a flat processing fee of $15, okay, so for the whole order. So they're telling me what should be my variable. So I'm going to use X because my 5s and my S's look very similar. So this is the reason why I'm using X. But if you want to use T, you can use T. Alright, why not? Let me just change this to a T. Probably that might work. Alright, so T is going to represent the tickets. So the question helps identify what your variable is. That's the first thing. Now, they're telling us you buy 6 tickets. So that's 6T. They had to pay a flat processing fee of $15. So that means what? Ash, I see you. Okay, that means we have to add, regardless of how many tickets you buy, before you buy anything, you gotta pay $15. That's your initial fee, okay, your startup. But then they're told us something else. The total amount was $207. So that means it equals 207. Okay. Could tax us, or it's just one of their little greedy little fees. Oh, it's for this, and it's really not. Yes, everything is taxed. I know. Before I know it, we're gonna have to get taxed on air. It's crazy. All right. So now, here we go. Hi, Queen. Thank you for coming in, but here's my thing. We don't do this here, okay? Appreciate you, though. All right. Now you have your equation. And what do they want us to do? What was the base price of a single ticket? So we just need to solve for T. So, yes. There we go, Ash. Thank you. So we need to isolate our T. So we're looking at this plus 15. We have to do its inverse. So the inverse is minus 15 on both sides. Okay. So positive 15, negative 15 cancels out to give me 0. We don't need the 0 because we still have 6t to bring down. Okay. So now we're going to have our 207 minus our 15. So this is a 2 and this is 19. Okay. Then we're going to what? 6t, that's 6 times t. The inverse of multiplication is division. And we're not dividing 6t, we're just dividing the 6. I'm starting to see a lot of people doing that. Okay, we don't want to get rid of everything on one side equal sign. We want to get t by itself. So we want to get rid of the 6. So when we have our t, bring that down. So now what's left? 192 divided by 6. So how many 6's can go into 1? None. How many 6's can go into 19 without going over? 3, with a remainder of 1. When we bring down the 1 with the 12, with the 2 to make it 12, how many 6's can go into 12? That is 2. What does this mean? I just looked up and boom. That's alright, Mel, but we make the adjustments. What does the 32 mean? 32 what? Mel, I see you. I think there was a lot of you guys that said it earlier. You're like, I said it earlier. Okay. Alright. Okay, you see what you did wrong. Good, Big Al. Alright. Okay, there was a couple people with the 37s. Okay, for one ticket, for a single ticket. Yes. So $32 for a single ticket. And that's what we were solving for. So anytime that you solve, take a moment to look back at the question. Because sometimes they'll be like, they'll tell you to solve it, and they'll ask you, like, how much would 10 tickets cost? They always do like some kind of extension. So sometimes it might be just like this when you see it on the test. It's like, oh, what was the base price of a single ticket? You found that answer. But if they may do an extension, they'll say, oh, well, what's the cost of 10 tickets? And you're like, okay, now you got to do this and multiply by 10. All right? Okay. All right. Not a problem. But see, don't forget, California, don't forget, there's multiple ways. You could have easily just said, all right, well, if the total was 207, you subtract by 15 and then divide by 6. That's exactly what we did here. Okay? That's exactly what we did here. Okay? So you got multiple ways. Now, again, if you want to do more practice with like word problems, all right, I do have a practice book. I actually have a couple practice books. But if you're going to do more with the word problems, I know a lot of people are not doing ASVAT, but I really focused my book for the ASVAT math practice. Okay? Yep, that's what you did in your head. And that's exactly what you can do, California, because that's exactly what we're doing. And if you want more of these word problems and more of these practice, like give like a practice quiz, okay? Each of these quizzes are like 40 questions, all right? You can order yourself the ASVAT math practice, which is in the link in my bio, okay? There's two versions of this. One is just the book, and it's a digital, okay? It's an ebook. So don't be like, I'm going to order it and expect it to come into the mail. No, just go to your email, and it'll go there, all right? So you can either have just the book with the regular answer keys at the back, or if you want a video answer key, you can have the book and me actually breaking down each and every one of these questions step by step. You can have that as an option, okay? So again, the link is in my profile. All right, as promised, one more. You're like, what? Be nice? Yes. Because I have all my practice books in there. Alright, one more. Let's see if we can kind of zhuzh it up a little bit. This is very similar to what you will see, especially GED and ASVAT. I'm going to see if I can do most of the work on this side so you can see it. Alright, take a look. Do I have a T's practice book? I don't, because the reason why, I do have a practice book that you can use for the math for T's. But I don't have like a math only. That's called the practice examination book. And that one looks like, sorry, I'm going to zoom in really close. It looks like this. Okay. So this one, I know I said GED as an Accuplacer, but T's test can also use this as well. And it just gives you a general, I know the last test, test 6, I really focused it on the Accuplacer, and it's a little bit harder because you're going to be doing more advanced stuff. But this one can kind of walk you through. And I also, the same situation, you can have the book, or you can have the book and my video answer keys. Again, this is in the link in my bio. Okay? Yep. Alright, see, now, let me zoom this in. You're so welcome. Did you give the option for a voiceover to all books? I do. All of my books actually have video explanation. Even the for the extra practice problems and the quizzes for my Algebra at Your Pace, I have the video recording of all of those as well. Yep. I actually have it linked inside my book. Like if you get to the very last page of a major section, you can actually scan and get the video breakdown of those. Yep, did that for all of it. Lots of time. Okay, lots of time. Alright. So let's see. What's the situation? Because I'm noticing I'm not seeing too many answers, and I'm seeing a lot of people dipping out. Like, I gotta go to church, girl. I'm like, I got you. Yes. But don't leave because you're like, man, this is really hard. Tell me how you're feeling. Okay. So, James, I see you. Ken Smith, I see you. Yes. There you go. Oh my God. There it is. Okay. Gothomatic, I see you. Welcome in. I think this is probably my first time seeing you. Okay. Big Al, good, I see you. Okay, let's see if we can get a couple more. Even if you're not sure, if you're just like, you know what, Lily, I don't know where to start, put a question mark in the chat. Okay? Be honest. Put a question mark in the chat. I want this to be a safe space, that you are not afraid to ask questions, because that's the only way we're going to learn. Okay? Okay, good question, California Living. Good question. Brenda, I see you. Okay. No, you're not always wrong, Big Al. Stop it. Okay, Lainey, I appreciate you. Okay. You're saying 13,000? Okay, definitely not that much. Okay, Ken, alright, switching up. I see you. Brian, I see you. Okay, Tad, I see you. Is that Tajanique? I see you. Alright. Only God knows I see you. Don't worry, you guys are gonna get this. Oh! Let me see if it's not Amika. It's Amka. I think it's Amka. I see you. Hello. I had to practice it. TK, I see you. Alright. And KR, I see you. Let's break this down. First thing, just like a detective, do not reword problems and trying to savor every word like you're reading a novel. That's what you guys are currently doing. because you're thinking every word, every phrase, everything is important. No. Math, you're doing the opposite. You start with the question. So my question is, how many miles did Maya drive? All right, so that's going to help me with my variable. So Maya begins with an M. So I'm going to say Maya's M. Then I'm going searching, just like any kind of crime, right? All of a sudden you think, oh, I just got one person to deal with. Then boom, who's this person? Who's Ellen? Who is this? Okay, so we got another person in the mix, but they're giving us a little information about. They said she drove 45 miles, more than twice than Maya. We need to translate that into an expression. So I'm going to say E, because her name begins with E. She drives 45 miles more than. What does more than mean? More than. How would we translate more than? Not times. See, there you go, Big Al. Add, to add. Okay? Okay? So 45, more than means addition. But we're saying 45 is more than. So that means the 45 is the one that's going to carry the plus sign. Because we're adding 45 more than what? More than what? Twice the distance of Maya. We know Maya is M. What does twice mean? Okay? What does twice mean? Yep, more than is always addition. The difference between more than and is more than is addition, is more than is inequalities. That's your greater than sign. Yeah, we're going to double it. That means twice. There you go, TK. Thank you. Okay, Johnny, I see you. Harley Girl, how are you? Welcome back. I see you. California Living, I see you. Okay, here we go. So we're doing twice Maya. And Maya is M. Are we okay so far? Yep, multiplying by 2. There you go. So now, what else are they giving us? They gave us some other additional information. Together, keyword, drove a total of 315 miles. What does that mean? Okay. Together they did shine. Yes. Okay. So it means equals. Yes. Total. Okay. So that means we have to equate this. So we need to add these two people up. And we have to make it equal to 315. So now let's put it all together. There you go, Big Al. Alright, so we have our M for Maya. I'm just going to scoot it over. Plus, we have our 2M plus 45. And it's going to equal the 315. Okay. So now we set it up. Okay. I keep seeing a lot of one this, one that, 90 is 135, all that. Let's take a look. So now we have basically a multi-step equation here. I notice that my m's are both on the same side of the equal sign. So these two things I can combine. Because since they're on the same side, I don't have to say one's on one side, one's on the other side. So m plus 2m, that's 3m. Because if you have 2m's here and you have 1m there, 2 plus 1 gives me 3m. Okay, do we see it now? Alright, so we're bringing down the plus 45 as well as the equals 315. Okay. Yeah, the one is silent. We can say the one is silent if that helps. But anytime you don't see a number that's in front of the variable, it's always assumed to be a 1. Because there is physically one m sitting right here. Okay? So when teacher says if you see a variable, it's a 1, they don't mean the variable itself. They mean what's called the coefficient. So now do the inverse of plus 45, which we're going to subtract 45. So now we have our 3m, and that's going to equal, that's a 0, that's 27, so 270. Okay. To our house. Okay. So now we're going to divide both sides by 3. So we have m equals, now 27 divided by 3 gives me 9, and tack on the 0. Okay. So we're talking about 90, but what does that 90 mean? We go back to the question. How many miles did Maya drive? And if M is representing Maya's driving, that means we're talking about 90 miles. Okay? So that's how far Maya drove. Okay? So people that were telling me 135, I know exactly what happened. Okay? You had a 2. You divide the 270 by 2, and it is supposed to be a 3. Okay? So do we see why it is a 3? These are the little things. It's not like you're bad at math. And I'm going to be truthful, guys. You're not bad at math. It's just certain things, little tweaks that we have to adjust because we're using our memory from years ago and trying to apply it to a current test. And you're spending more time, it's the wording. Because a lot of people, when it comes down to the word problems, a lot of people don't understand that certain words have certain operations. Okay? Of course, you got this, California. Definitely. Where did the extra M come before you combined? This one right here. Okay. Is it this one? Shonda? Yes? Okay. Well, that was Maya. Because remember, we had to give them a total. So we had one that was for Maya and the one that's for, was that Elena? Or Elena? Okay. So we had to combine both of those. So that's why we did M plus the 2M plus 45. Okay? Not a problem. Oh, not a problem. Thank you, Blank. Appreciate that. No problem. And it is. It's tough because, especially, and I'm going to be, if I cross the line, just let me know. I'd rather people let me know in front of my face. Especially if it's English as a second language. And the English language is just confusing as all kinds of get up. Anyway, are you there or are you there? They are, and yeah. It's all kinds of crazy. So then some of us don't know that certain words mean certain operations in math. So I want to do a couple more of these. So not so much the word problems, but let's get with the translation because I had a couple of cards. See? This is why I do some of the things that I do. Alright? So if we do this, well, it didn't ask for how much Elena drove. Okay? Always answer that question. Okay? This one only asked about Maya. If they asked how much Elena drove, yes, you're correct with that. Okay? Then you can take that 90, then you can double it, then you can add the 45. Okay? But always go back to the question after you solved. Right. Alright, so let's try this. Let's go slow. And then I'm going to pick it up. Okay? Translate that in the chat, please. Okay? Let's see if we can work on the verbiage. Translate this in the chat. Alright, so we got Big Al, DJ, okay, Shunda. Alright, BG Money, I see you. Excuse me. Okay. Again, Lainey, I appreciate you. Delight, I see you. Okay, Shan, I see you. And this is the reason why I do this. Okay, you struggle with these? Okay. Well, this is how we can practice. Okay, this is how we can practice. 13 minus x. Okay, I see you, only God. I appreciate you. So, let's take a look. Let's break it on down. Alright, so if we're saying, if we're saying 13 less than, so I love the fact that we know that less than is subtraction. Okay, it is going to be subtraction. If it said is less than, that will be a less than sign, that inequality. But because it doesn't have the word is, we're dealing with subtraction. But what are we subtracting? 13 less than. So that means 13 is supposed to be the one that's going to carry the less than. That's going to carry the minus. And a number, you can use X, you can use any letter in the alphabet except for I and E. I like to use N because number begins with an N. Alright, so for me to translate 13 less than a number, it's going to be N minus 13. No, don't get disgruntled. Alright, this is what we're going to do. We're going to adjust our thinking. That's what I'm trying to do. All we have to do is tweak it. Less than, that's minus. Okay, is less than, that's inequalities. Okay, why not I and E? They're actual numbers. So I is the square root of -1. Okay, representing those imaginary numbers or complex numbers. And E, if you put in your calculator, E to the first power, it'll give you like 2.1. It's been a minute. Sorry, I gotta take a look because I haven't done it in a while. Yeah, 2.7. So if I put E to the first power, I would get, there we go, 2.718. So E is actually a number. Thought you knew it all? That's alright. Trust me, even I don't know it all. Okay, so now we know. So let's try another one. Half a number. Put in the chat, half a number. How can you represent that? Don't worry. One day you will, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I totally remember this psycho woman on TikTok. What was her name? What was her name? And she told me about the E and the I. Okay. Alright, so let's see. So we have Eva, I see you. Hey, Nicole, how are you? I see you, just missing something. Okay, Miss Blackness, I see you. But we don't need an equal sign, because they're not giving us the equal sign. Okay, DJ, I see you. Cerise, I see you. Delight, I see you. You're around. Hey, that's no problem. I got you. Alright, Big Al, I see you. Shonda, I see you. Okay, Laura, I see you. Okay, there we go, Nicole. There we are. Okay, you don't know? Okay, that's fine. Actually, you're not too bad. Oh my God, just have to tweak your thinking a little bit. Okay, Keisha, I see you, and there's something that I'm glad that you did. Okay, Miss Blackness, I see you. Right, and it is division. Okay, Lainey, I see you. Thank you for your honesty. All right, so, yep, you could, but it's a little too much. Okay, Eva, it's just a little too much. All right, so I'm going to try not to waste too much paper. So we have the half of a number. We know half as 1 out of 2. Okay, so you can write half of a number as 1 out of 2 times n, or you can say 1 out of 2 n. Now, to clean things up, because anytime you multiply a fraction with a whole number, we know we can make this whole number and put it over 1 without devaluing. And what happens when we multiply fractions? When we multiply fractions, we multiply the numerator, then we multiply the denominator. So 1 times n, I can also say n, and then 2 times 1, 2. Okay? So you can see it as 1/2 n with the parentheses around it, or just simply 1/2 times n with just an n next to it, or you could set it up as a fraction, which would be n over 2. Okay? Because if you're going 2n, that means you're doubling it. So if I do 2n, that means 2 times n. So I'm making things bigger. If I'm saying half of a number, I want to do division. So I'm making things smaller. Okay? Yeah, we're going throwback, Diego. Alright? So since we have half of a number, it can be written as n over 2, or it can be written as 1/2 n. Now, there was a couple people that I saw like a dot in between. That's too much. Okay? Multiplication, if you don't see anything in between the number and the variable, boom, it's automatically multiplication. Okay? So you don't need to put an x in between. Okay? So we don't have to do 1/2 x n. Okay? This is, especially when you get into algebra, this is basically telling me you got 1/2 xn. So that means you have 2 variables happening. And that's not what you're doing. Because I know, it used to drive me crazy when students would be like 1/2 xx. And I'm like, dude, this is not porn, this is math class. We're not doing that here. Okay? So now that you're doing algebra, you don't need to write down x. Okay? Alright, cool. I know, it's kind of freaky. I used to teach high school. Enough said. Anything associated with relationships, food, and social media, you got them. And their phone. Oh my God, you got them every time. Alright? Does that make sense now? Okay? Does this make sense? So you can have it written like this or have it written like this. Okay? Alright, it does. Good. Alright, yes, good. Okay. Yes, there it is. Alright, let's try another one. Alright, let's see about this one. Okay, give that one a try. Your brain's starting to glitch. Reset, reset. It's waking up. It's okay. Alright. Okay, Lainey, I got you. I got you. Alright, Big Al, I see you. DJ, I see you. I see paper flying everywhere. Okay, Shona. 1 second. A moment. Okay, topology. Okay, big. Yes, Big G Money. I see you. Laura, I see you. Yep, it's algebra. Okay, Shonda. I'm not sure if I said I see you, but I see you. Alright, Keisha, I see you. Brenda, I see you. Shan, I see you. Sharice, I see you. Okay. Alright. Any more? Okay. Miss Black Sense, I see you. Okay. Still kind of doing, but we're alright. Now, 8 less than 3 times a number. This time, okay, you're not sure if your sign is right? Okay. So this time we have 2 operations, 2 things. I got you, only got, breathe. Just breathe, take a moment. Alright? Step by step. Okay? I'm not here to rush. Just because other people are getting it faster than you, it has no judgment against you. Alright? We're going to take this step by step and go and walk together. Here we go. Now, careful. Is that gerando? Careful. So we have 2 operations going on. Less than, which is going to be subtraction, and times. And times is our multiplication. Now, a lot of you guys wrote those down, which is good. But we need to work on these. Yes, I do sell these cards. I can show you. Yeah, no problem. So, now, if you're going to say something, put it in English. I would greatly appreciate that. Because you know, as you put it in Spanish, you're thinking that I don't understand. If you cannot be kind, there we go. So, 8 less than. So if we're saying 8 is less than, not is less than, just less than. Less than is going to be our subtraction. Okay? Alright. Yes, yes. So, 8 less than. So 8 is going to be the one that's carrying the subtraction. So it's actually going to be minus 8. Okay. So less than is going to be subtraction. There we go. I see you guys. So now, but it's going to be less than what? It's going to be less than 3 times a number. So 3 times a number, even though it's multiplication, you don't have to write 3x XX. Again, no porn. We're not doing that. Okay? So 3xn, that means you're giving me 2 variables, and we're not dealing with 2. Okay? That's alright. So 3 times a number, you can just simply say 3n or 3x. Whatever you want for your variable, you can write that. But this is how, from now on, for algebra, when you want to represent multiplication, you don't have to put the x. Okay? If you want to put a parenthesis around it, you can do that. But I'm going to tell you, in most assessments that you're going to be taking, if this is a GED, ASVAT, Accuplacer, TEAS test, HESI test, whatever test under the sun, you're going to see it written like this. Okay? Alright? So, when it comes with less than, whatever number is in front, that's what's taking the negative. So that's why it's going to be minus 8. Then you read the next part. Translate 3 times the number. That'll just be 3n or 3x. Okay? Are we understanding that? Okay. Right? How are we doing? Yes? Good. Okay. How are we doing? Okay. Alright, so yes, you can buy these cards. Again, it's the link in my bio, and you'll actually see it as verbal and algebraic. Okay, so let's do 2 more, and then I'll show you where to go. Alright, so let's try this one. And today, see? It's your lesson, special lesson. Right, and that's fine. So it's like you look at the expression, and I think the troublesome part is what is addition, what words are representing addition, what words are representing multiplication. Sorry, someone was distracting me outside. Weird. So which words represent adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, equals? That's another thing. I got to work on some cards that will actually go from verbal to solving. So I got to work on those. Okay. Alright, so Laura, I see you. Okay, Shonda, I see you. Big Al, I see you. Okay, Sharice, I see you. Okay, Jose, I see you, but you don't have to put the y equals, because we're not doing equations, we're just doing expressions right now. Okay? Alright, DJ, I see you. Brenda, I see you. Miss Black, I see you. Shan, I see you. Okay, you guys are getting better. I hope you're feeling better, because you guys are doing awesome. Okay, Delight, I see you. Okay, plus the sum. What's missing? You're so close. Only God, what's missing? Oh, it's Keisha. Okay, we're so close. What was the last one? There you go. Yep, so all you have to do is just drop that equals sum part, and you're right there. And you're right there. Okay? I've been calling a lot of people daddy on this app. Everyone's like J Daddy, Mac Daddy, this Daddy, Chef Daddy, DJ Daddy, Step Daddy, Yo Step Daddy. I'm like, dang. I don't think I ever said that many times daddy in my lifetime. Good Lord. I'm saying like, hey, what's sugar daddy, mama daddy, 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 dang daddy. Like, good Lord, everybody want to be someone's daddy? What's going on? Alright, so let's take a look. So we got the sum of twice a number and 8. So we got 2 things going on. We have the sum of. Anytime they tell you the sum of, the difference of, the product of, the quotient of, that means 2 things are going to be involved. But for sum, it's going to be addition. So what are the 2 things that we're adding? The first one comes next. Twice a number. And you guys nailed that. So you can say 2 times n or 2x. All right? Whatever you want, twice that. And the and is not meaning the addition. What means the addition is the sum of. So the sum of is telling you you are adding two things. The first thing was twice a number, and the second thing is going to be the 8. Okay, so you all nailed that. Alright? Okay, so we're just doing expressions. Just expressions alone. Alright, awesome. Alright, so let's do one more. One more. Then I have to get my crazy day started. You're like, what? It's not started already? No, it's called, I have to do the other end of the spectrum. Cleaning. Never ends. Alright, twice the difference of 5 and a number. Double. Sorry, I said twice. I'm reading things. Double the difference of 5 and a number. What do you think? Okay. Gills, I see you. How are you, Gills? It's been a minute. Okay. Keisha, I see you. Okay. Big Al, I see you. Okay. Only God, I see you. Shonda, I see you. Charisse, I see you. Now, let's break this down. So again, we do have two operations going on. So the first one is double. You're allergic to math. It's okay. See, we're going to have to change this mindset. All right? Because trust me, I did not come out the womb knowing all this stuff. I used to suck at math when I was a kid. Terrible. Just awful. Fractions, nope, not doing it. Word problems, hell no, I wasn't doing any of that because I didn't understand it. So we're going through years of doubt. There's a whole lot of layers. So now we're trying to get to that hurt child in the beginning, okay? So it's going to take some time, all right? So we're going to do this. Doing it together. All right, double the difference of. So there's two things. I'm going to put a line right here. One, I'm going to double. I'm going to double what? I'm going to double everything after the word double. Okay? So there's no equal signs. Okay? There's no absolute values. So we're going to double everything after this section. So let's get this section part. The difference. What does difference mean? Because I was getting a mixture. What operation is difference? Okay, what's difference mean? Subtraction. Good. Subtracting. Good. Okay, subtraction. James, I see you. Sean, Big Al, everybody. Jesus, Wisdom. Good. Subtraction. So we are subtracting. Subtracting what? What are we going to subtract? No problem. No problem. Okay? What are we subtracting? We're subtracting the 5 and the n. So we're not solving anything. Okay? Mills, we're not solving everything. We're just setting it up. Okay? Because I know you just got here. Alright, so we are subtracting 5 and a number. So the difference of, that's the subtraction, and we're subtracting two things. What's the two things? We're subtracting 5 and a number. That number could be any variable except for I and E. So we have that part down. Okay? So now, where does the double come in? We're going to have to double. And when you double something, that means it's growing by what? By 2's. You are multiplying something by 2. So we're not going to multiply just the 5, and we're not going to multiply just the n by 2. We're multiplying the entire expression by 2. Okay? So we don't have to do distributive property. Didn't say all that, but I see what you're talking about. So it looks like distributive property. So if you gave me 10 minus 2n, okay, that's fine. But remember, when you're taking a standardized test, and I'm not talking about in the classroom, I'm talking about a standardized test, SAT, ACT, GED, ASVAT, Accuplacer, all of those, don't do that extra. When you do extra, you're taking time away from your test. Because that extra time that you spent on a problem like this, that you didn't spend on time like this, you can add to give me more time for something that's a little harder. Okay? No, you don't need to take the absolute value. So sorry. Okay? Alright. So all we're doing is you're trying to solve. We're not trying to solve. I know, time goes fast, right? Over an hour? Okay. It's time. Yes. The tease test is timed. So that's why when I do all of my assessment, when I do all my cards, okay, so again, these flashcards, I like to call them matching cards. So with the matching cards, it's like you like to break things down and give you some extra practice without making it into a PDF. Okay? So just to give you a little sliver, these are basically all my matching cards. Nice thick stack. Okay? It's a little thicker than a Snicker. Alright? So a lot of these cards that we have, it's called verbal to algebraic. So a lot of stuff that I have is I tried to break it down step by step, just like how I did with this. Now, for those that are coming in a little bit later, if anything, let me put here, you could get the whole live replay, which since it's over an hour, it's going to take a little bit longer for me to upload. But you can go to my YT account. Alright, you can go to my YT account and type in Math by Audrey, and you can see all my replays. Okay, so what's here, this is the reason why I developed this algebra at your pace. So now you're learning the key concepts that are usually shown in the GED, the ASVAT, the tease test, the Accuplacer, and parts of the GED, especially the general one. Okay, all those concepts are basically shown here. So what happens is you'll get a section. There'll be a QR code that will give you a list of all the playlist instruction. You watch the videos, gives you a section for you to write down your notes, and then also gives you a section for you to write down your practice, okay? And you get some extra practice problems. Don't just get the books and work on the extra practice problems first, because you are trying to solve new information with old memory. Okay, we have to basically do a little bit of tweaking of our thinking, you know, just like how we were just doing some of the stuff. Then after a while, the answer key to it is on the very back. You just keep going, and then you'll be given a quiz, just a little summative quiz to help you with understanding. Did you get everything in that section? All right. Well, for number 2, I broke it up because the second part I kind of did more proportional word problems so you can get more practice with the word problems. Okay? So a lot of section 2 does that. But then at the very back, I give you a resource. Okay, I give you some additional notes for stuff that, oh, I totally forgot all about that. Okay, how to do decimals, how to do fractions, okay, place values, okay, fractions to decimal, decimal to fractions, right, properties of exponents, order of operation here in the States and also my international peeps. Then you have your rules of integers. How do you know it's going to be a positive? How do you know it's going to be a negative? All right. And then since this book has order of operations, I actually give you guys some questions, some flashcards. Okay. So if you can practice, not only this, it's matching cards. So you can have one that I want you to simplify and the other one I want you to solve. And if you're like, well, Audrey, how am I going to know which one's which? Because I give you an answer key in the very back. Okay? Alright, place values, I know. And especially if you're going to do tease tests, that is vital. Oh, and here's another thing. I know, I feel like I'm always plugging people, but this is how you get this. So I think you should follow a blessed RN. Anyone that's thinking about getting your tease test and you need help with doses calculations, she's the one to do it. That's all she does is doses calculations. If you want to learn how to learn your adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and you're very more hands-on, you're so welcome. You can say learning with Lynette. Okay, Lynette knows how to break down math concepts like basic math, like adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing. Not even with integers, just really getting used, especially in multiplication. And she used the abacus. Okay, so it's like that whole beat it, and you can use the abacus to move things around. But again, if you really want to purchase, see if I can get into my TikTok over here. So if you go to my profile, let me make this a little bit clearer. So if you click on my profile picture a couple times and you go into my profile, here is the link right here. Okay, where it says Stan Store Math by Audrey. If you click on that, it'll take you directly to my Stan Store. Alright, and if you go, you get a free gift. If you wanted to get a math readiness assessment, I updated it. So if you want to basically figure out where are you math-wise and what kind of math you can do, there's a free assessment for you here. But all of these, and I have to clarify this, I know there's a huge scratch in my thing. Okay, digital downloads, there's no shipping. These are all ebooks. If you want physical books, you have to order it off the A. Okay, and I'll tell you what the A is momentarily. If I can get my thing. Alright, it just doesn't want to. Alright, it's going to be really fast, because I hate doing this. Alright, so here is the ASVAT math practice test I was talking to you about with the video solutions. Here's the practice test with the video solutions if you want more guided practice. But if you just want the books themselves, okay, you can get the books themselves. Again, they are available for physical books, but all of these books are ebooks. Okay, and if you want the verbal to algebraic, this is where you can go and get it. Okay, so this is what you want to get all those. Alright, I also have several flashcards. And again, just go ahead, take a look, browse. If you want to click on it, let me show you this. Because a lot of people think that, oh, if I click on it, that means I have to pay right away. No, it does not. Okay, so when you click on it, I give you a small breakdown of what you're going to expect. Okay, you're going to take a look. Alright, only when you're ready to download now, that's when you're putting your information in. Okay, so if you do not, you're like, you know what, I like it, but not right now, you can go at the very top and then just go back. Alright, simple as that. so you don't have to worry about overly committing. I know, OG. All right. So again, if you want the individual books of my Algebra at your pace, you can buy them separately. But if you want some of my ebook series, like the whole system, if you're like, Audrey, I really don't know where to start, here, you can start here at the starter. This will give you volume 1 and volume 2, okay, of the ebooks. It will also give you the ebook of the practice exam book, all right, and you get a video walkthrough of that first volume. So all of my extra practice problems and the quiz problems, all of the breakdowns, the physical breakdowns of me. So that is going to be that first system. Okay? All right, so go ahead, take a look. Try your luck. I don't want to say try your luck because you know you're going to do this. And if you're able to feel a little confident, okay, with the math right now, just being with me for what, maybe an hour, maybe an hour and 20 minutes. Like, think about when you first saw word problems. You were like, oh God, not it. And then you started to see, oh, certain words have certain phrases. And now you're able to apply that. So when you see a test, you're not going to be like, oh, there's a word problem, I freak out. Nope, not going to do it. Not gonna do it. I shouldn't be even in this room, and I shouldn't be doing that. You deserve to be in every room. Okay? Just want to make that clear right now. You deserve to be in every room. You can do math. You just have to basically go back to that small child that was in middle school learning this the first time and felt like I will never get it because everyone else seems to get it more than me. We have to change our mindset because you definitely can get this done. Okay? All right? So if you have any questions at all, go ahead, click my profile pic. Just click on that and send me a message. Don't just say hi. Tell me, what are you thinking? Did you like the live? Did you not like the live? I'm just completely lost. I'd rather have you as a tutor. Whatever you want. Message, keep it clean. Some of y'all just be going off the rip, like just crazy. All right, so you tell me what you need, okay, before you purchase anything. So if you like, I think I need this, but I'm not sure, I'd rather you tell me before you purchase. A lot of people are like, yeah, go purchase, do what you want to do. But I'd rather you ask questions for clarity before you make any kind of purchases, because I want you to get something that is finally going to work. Not only for you, but for your sanity. Okay? So you can definitely be able to take this down. Alright? So, if you have any questions, go ahead and just message me. If you want to follow, give me a few hours for this replay because I got to download it. But if you want, again, you can go to my YT. And you can type in Math by Audrey, and you'll see all the replays of my TikToks. Alrighty? Alright, guys, have a wonderful day. And if you have questions, go ahead, reach out. I'm going to keep saying it because a lot of people say, did she say it? Yes. It's not going to be a bot. It's actually going to be me messaging you back. Alright, everyone? Okay, have an awesome day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bright and early, probably 7:45, if not 7:45, 8 o'clock. All right?